go through the tools in the hive. What do we use as a beekeeper? So the first thing we have here is my jacket, and I'll put this on a little later. Now, some beekeepers use just a jacket like you see here. Others use a full suit. I'm comfortable in my jeans, so I don't put the full suit on. I feel pretty well protected with my jacket on. And you'll notice the hat or the veil, that's to protect my eyes because bees are attracted to movement. So they will go after what moves most on the body, and that is actually our eyes. So we have our jacket for protection. We also have gloves. Now I tend to use these neoprene gloves. These are my old gloves. These are cotton, and they've been dipped in a solution that protects me a little bit more. Do I get stung through these in my jacket? Yes, sometimes, but it does help protect me. All right, when we get in the hive, we have these tools. These are our hive tools, and you'll see these in action a little later. This is a very basic hive tool. They get a little more complicated. This is for pulling nails. This is my favorite. It has a hammer on it. It helps me clean the frames later on in the off season. It's got ways of separating the frames here, and it has a J-hook, which is going to help me pick up the frames inside. Now, why do we need to use tools like this? Because the bees make a glue called Propolis, which is made out of tree sap, and they will close this whole hive up, and that's especially important in the wintertime when they don't want a lot of drafts. Now, inside these hives are frames, which, like I said, we pick up with the hive tool, but the bees will be on those frames. So this is a very soft brush called a bee brush, and we'll use this to brush them off the frame if they're in our way. Some people also use a turkey feather. Also, to help pick some of those frames up when they get heavy with honey, this is a Hive Grabber. It also has a little hive tool on the end, a frame grabber. And this will help me when I'm opening up the hive. You'll see this also. This will go inside the hive here, and it'll help me take the frames out and hang them here so I can get them out of my way and work. Now, the one thing I haven't showed you yet is one of the most valuable tools that we use. This is a smoker. Now, the reason we use a smoker is not to put the bees to sleep. It's not to sedate them. What it actually does is it mimics the smell of a fire in the hive. The bees get ready to leave. They go down out of my way, and they start gorging on honey in case they have to evacuate the hive. And when they do that, they are out of my way so that I can pull the frames up. The other thing the smoker does is it masks the smell of pheromones, and that's one of the ways that bees communicate. Another way that they communicate is with a waggle dance. We might get to see one inside the hive a little later. But it'll mask the smell of the pheromones, particularly if I were to accidentally squish a bee. It would cause the alarm pheromone to be released, and by using my smoker, it'll mask that smell, so I'm less likely to be stung. For example, if I get stung, then on any part of my body, like for example on my hand, I would smoke my hand, so they're less likely to sting me there again. Okay, so now what goes into the smoker? Okay, right now you can see that that's not lit, and some of the things we can use in there. Everybody uses something different. Some people use cardboard, some people use pine needles or pine cones. I like burlap. There's also wood pellets we can use, and we would light that, and it generates a cool smoke. It's not going to hurt the bees, but it does get them out of our way. Now, some of the other things that we have here are not necessary, but we find them very useful. Flashlight. We use this to see if there are eggs on the frames. Eggs are very small, like tiny, tiny, tiny grains of rice, and they're very, very hard to see. I found that this is very useful when you shine it onto the frames to see them more clearly. These are tools we use for the queens. This is a queen catcher or a queen clip. This is a device used to mark queens. And this year's color is blue. The color changes each year, and that tells us how old the queen is.